What is going on? Welcome back to Trading Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about Faraday Future. I want to break it down on some of the data points, what is really driving it higher, and is this squeeze 2.0 or not? Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Friday did go up 33.33%. Absolutely very impressive run. And for those of you that have been following my channel, you know, that does pain me to say that because Faraday, like for all extensive purposes, I haven't been a fan of lately, but even during the 24-hour trading, it is sitting at $2. So it is continuing its very impressive run, despite no actual concrete news. And I say concrete because they have been putting out a ton of news, none of which I've been a fan of, none of which that essentially people should go out and buy, because the last one was a 30 million SPA, which in general isn't a good reason to buy a stock. But what is really hyping this up is a lot of big accounts. And I did a video 2 or 3 days ago kind of pointing out, saying, hey, this is something that you need to pay attention to, because ultimately this is what happened in May. So what happened in May, a lot of attention was being drawn to GameStop through Roaring Kitty. And of course, people extended that to Faraday because at the time, the short interest through Ortex was representing in excess of 100%. I think it was showing 110%. So people are like, hey, yeah, GameStop's fine, but look at this stock. This stock has 110%. So that's actually what prompted all that crazy run to, I think it was $3.90 pre-split. But this time around, you're having the same type of scenario play out. You're having big accounts on Twitter, other social medias saying, hey, Faraday is a squeeze play. This is something that you need to really focus on. And lo and behold, it's coming to fruition a little bit. So over the last 5 days, it is up 39.84%. So it did recently have a low of 99 cents. So bounced off of that kind of psychological $1 range as well. But yeah, it's been on a very nice run. And like I said, it is continuing that because during the 24-hour trading, it is sitting at $2. While I'm actually on here, I'll give you a quick overview. So I don't believe there has been any new analyst ratings or any analyst ratings for that fact on Faraday, which so far is true. But you never know. If there is one analyst that just gives let's say a $5 price target, that could be that catalyst that really propels it higher. At the same time, you really need a lot of those big accounts to continue to really hype up Faraday if you want a similar scenario to play out that happened in May. The only difference is, like I said, back in May, Ortex was portraying the short interest at 100 and something percent, 110 or something. But as of right now, Ortex is displaying it as 26.49% of the free float, and that works out to be 11.59 million shares. You can kind of see right here just what happened in May. So ultimately, it did show the high of 128.85%. So that was at the peak on May the 10th. So again, I think just given the circumstances, you could see a very similar scenario play out. At the same time, you're seeing a very abnormal amount of options. So 863,000 in calls, 218,000 in puts, 59% of all the options being done today, Friday, were optimistic in nature. And just generally looking here, it hasn't been in excess of 1 million for the premium. So I'm looking at this column right here. Has not been, looks like on October the 9th. That was the last time. So it was at 1.2 million. It went up 12% the following day. And options went up roughly around 40% from that. So yeah, this might be a good start of something very great. So just be aware, this is a momentum aspect that is happening. So in order for a momentum stock, you need a continuation of a lot of capital to get in. As soon as that does stop, then unfortunately the music kind of stops and it goes down. Similar to what happened in May. Just to give you a quick overview, it went down very fast. So essentially just do your own due diligence and all the other fun jazz. But I feel that this is something that a lot of people should really pay attention to and everything else. And you never know, if there's some good developments that happens operationally, then that's just icing on the cake. But based on my experience, I'm not really a fan of their operations, so this would be more of a momentum trade rather than a actual fundamental investment. So that's just my of course 2 cents. Looking here, so with it at $1.76, and of course with it at $2 after hours, it is trading between these ranges right here. So $2.10 and then $2.53 is going to be the following kind of resistance slash targets for the stock to really hit. So that'll be something to watch for on Monday. Flip side, or even the following one, it'll be 366. And then I think it's a little bit premature to start talking on anything in excess of that. But as far as some support levels, $1.83, $1.40, and then 97 cents is going to be the following support levels. Very wide gaps because, of course, Faraday has moved quite a lot in a short time period. So just be, again, aware of that. But yeah, honestly, this could be something very, very interesting. It'll come down to momentum. So what's your viewpoint? Are you buying Faraday? Are you averaging down? Did you swing trade it? Because yeah, there was a lot of volume today, so you could have essentially swung traded and done what you needed to do. So what's your viewpoint on all of that? Side note, one way to trade Faraday is through options. Very low volatility, or I guess low-ish for a momentum stock. So I think it's roughly around 200% right now. So I guess I consider that low for a momentum stock. But yeah, if you're bullish, you could definitely buy calls. If you're bearish, you could definitely buy puts, whatever floats your boat. I'm not here to kind of swing or tell you to do otherwise. But based on the call options that was purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above $3 by next week. So yeah, things might get very real very fast. So do your own due diligence at the end of the day. One final thing I just wanted to share with you though, I did launch a Patreon roughly around a month and a half ago. Been giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers. Just put out Faraday as a buy on there as well, because even though I don't think on a percentage basis May will happen again, but I think there is still a little bit more room for it to go up. So let me know your thoughts on all that. Pop over to my Patreon, link in the description below and also the comments. And with all that, hopefully everyone has an amazing weekend.